Hello everyone, and welcome to this, my overview of the complete Only Fools and Horses TV DVD collection. Only Fools and Horses being my favourite British sitcom and probably my favourite sitcom of all time. So I thought I'd just show you all the DVDs and give a brief overview and review of each one as we go along. So if we start off at the very beginning with Series 1. So as you can see, here is the complete first series. Great series, this one. Nice way to kick off Only Fools and Horses with the original three, Del Boy, Rodney and Grandad, played by Leonard Pierce. Loved Grandad. Yeah, it's a good series, very good series. Not the best, probably the least favourite series of mine from Only Fools and Horses. That's not to say it's not good, but there are much better series with many more classic episodes on it. There are a few great episodes on here. Big Brother, the first episode, is probably one of my favourites, along with Cash and Curry. That's probably my other favourite episode on here, but it's a great series and it's a good way to start. You know, it's essential watch for any Fools and Horses fan or anyone getting into Fools and Horses. Love the light blue cover as well. So yeah, Series 1's really good, but compared to this one, Series 2, this is an absolute classic. This is one of my favourite series of all time. It's got a touch of glass, which is of course the famous Fools and Horses episode with Del Boy and Rodney and the chandelier. The long legs of the law, Ashes to Ashes, Losing Streak, that's one of my favourites as well, which you can see, Losing Streak, the picture up there. The characters like Boise and Trigger are much more evolved as characters in this series. Yeah, absolutely classic. Only Fools and Horses series, absolutely brilliant. Now this comes close to Series 2. If I had to, I'd probably say I prefer Series 3 overall, and again, absolutely brilliant. This is Leonard Pierce's last series as Grandad. Sadly, he passed away, and yeah, when you've got episodes like Homesick, Healthy Competition, Friday the 14th, Yesterday Never Comes, Wanted, Who's a Pretty Boy, and Thicker Than Water, which is the return of Del Boy and Rodney's father. It's just an absolutely fantastic series. Yeah, Series 3, absolutely brilliant. And then we have Series 4, which was the fourth series and the first to introduce Uncle Albert. It took a little bit of time during the series to establish Uncle Albert's character. All the characters other than that are completely evolved and absolutely brilliant. Again, there's some absolute classics in here. One of my favourites being As One Door Closes, Sleeping Dogs Lie, Strained Relations, and Happy Returns, which is the episode that doesn't feature either Uncle Albert or Grandad. That's the first episode, but it's a great one as well. It's just a brilliant series again. I probably like it slightly more than Series 1, but it's probably not one of my absolute favourite series. Next one we have is the complete Series 5. Again, so many classic stories on here. From Prussia with Love, The Miracle of Peckham, The Longest Night, which is when they're being held hostage in the office of a supermarket. It's just great, and Uncle Albert is so much better in this series. His character is much more three-dimensional and fully rounded. But just going back to Series 4, obviously the funeral of Grandad, which is Strained Relations, it always gets me. It's a very emotional episode, probably one of the highlight episodes of this series. But Series 5 is just outright funny. Great series. And probably my favourite series of all time, Series 6, which is, they've moved from the 30-minute episodes to the 50-minute episodes, and it really works. And this is obviously where Rodney meets Cassandra, and at the end of the series they get married. Sorry to spoil it for anyone, which has a very emotional scene at the end. Really great episode. And of course this has the famous Yuppie Love episode, which is the first episode on here, which is where Del Boy falls in the bar, which anyone who's a fan of comedy will know about that scene. Absolutely hysterical to this day. Absolutely brilliant series. Now, a strange one, Series 7, the last series of Fools and Horses. I used to really not like the series as much as the other ones, but actually this is probably now my joint second series with Series 3, and Series 3 and 2. I really like Series 7. Great stories again, or episodes I should say. It's brilliant. It's really, really good. And of course, Del Boy and Raquel have a baby at the very end. The whole running joke about naming it Damien after Rodney sort of makes a joke about calling him Damien after the devil. So that's brilliant. So next up we have the specials. And the very first special came after Series 4, which was To Hull and Back, which is a really good one. Not my favourite, but it's a really good one. Really good, strong story. And then we have the controversial A Royal Flush. Controversial because this DVD version and subsequent UK DVD versions, this is the 2004 edit, so there is quite a lot of chops and changes in this story, which a lot of fans don't really like. Personally, I have seen the uncut version, and I don't think, although there are some funny scenes, I don't think it really adds too much to what is a relatively okay episode. It's not the best Fools and Horses special anyway, but yeah, Royal Flush. Now, a much better one is The Frog's Legacy, which gives you a much more in-depth history behind the maternal father of Rodney, because there was always speculation, even back in Series 3, that Rodney and Del Boy weren't full brothers, and this gives you a bit more true insight into that, and the episode itself is very, very good as well. Really great one. And then we have Dates, where Del Boy meets Raquel, which is obviously going to be before Series 7. But this is a really good one, really strong one, and yeah, really like Raquel. She's much more timid and quiet in this story, as she develops later on as quite a bolshy, strong, independent woman, which is very funny when Del Boy and her get caught up in an argument and all the rest of it. It's very funny to see that. And of course the absolute classic A Jolly Boys Outing, which is where Del Boy meets Raquel again after they part ways at the end of Dates. But this is absolutely fantastic. This is a classic. The blowing up of the holiday coach and everything, going down to Margate. Brilliant, brilliant. Absolutely fantastic. One of my absolute favourites, this one. Absolutely pretty much flawless. And another one, I have a soft spot for this one, Rodney Comes Home, or Rodney Come Home. This one is the feature length that came just before the airing of Series 7. Yeah, and this one, again, I thought it was going to drop then. This one, again, is an absolute classic. One of my personal favourites, along with Jolly Boys Outing. Yeah, this one's brilliant. Quite emotive and incredibly funny. Next one, Mother Nature's Son. Oh dear. It's alright. The story is quite good, but it goes a little bit over the top towards the end. But it's good. It's a good one. And Miami Twice, a completely bonkers story about Del Boy meeting his doppelganger, who is a gangster. Again, it's pretty funny. It's very, very good, but yeah, again, a little bit over the top. But yeah, it's enjoyable. And probably one of my least favourite specials, Fatal Attraction. Fatal Extraction, which is parodying Fatal Attraction. Yeah, it's funny, it's good, it's worth a watch, but yeah, it's definitely not the best. And then we came to the 3 1996 Christmas specials, and of course Heroes and Villains, absolute iconics episode, absolutely brilliant with Del Boy and Rodney here, really, really brilliant. And this one here, Modern Men, another brilliant one, and I believe this is is this the one where they get stuck in the lift? It might be. I'm not sure if it's this one. It might not be. It might be this one, which is of course Time on Our Hands, where Del and Rodney finally become millionaires. And I think it's at the early stages of this story where Rodney and Del Boy get trapped in a lift, and Rodney bears his soul to Del Boy. I'm not going to tell you why and what the reason for that is, but yeah, it's very emotional and it's brilliantly written. And then they came back a few years later with another 3-part Christmas special, If They Could See Us Now. Yeah, really good, strong start to the trilogy here. Yeah, really funny, very good. And then we have Strangers on the Shore, which I think is slightly better than If They Could See Us Now. But yeah, really, really strong story as well. Very, very funny. Yeah, and some really great moments in there. And of course, the very final Only Fools and Horses episode, Sleepless in Peckham, which again, this sort of concludes the whole story behind the maternal fathership of Rodney and Del Boy and everything else. And it's just a very fitting, very nice emotional end, and done in typical Fools and Horses fashion. And that's it until we get to this, which is the official Only Fools and Horses story of documentary, which is definitely worth a watch. Yeah, very, very good. But there we are. That is the complete Only Fools and Horses DVD collection. I do have the recently released box set, which is also basically is exactly like this. The DVD menus are exactly the same. There's no uncut versions. They're all the same versions that you see here, just repackaged basically. But yeah, that's a nice little tidy box set. But I do like these covers. I do like all the different colour designs and all the stuff like that. So I do prefer these ones. But there we go. That's the Only Fools and Horses DVD collection. And I hope you like this video. And don't forget, like, subscribe, share and comment. And I will see you folks on the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.